Next, we have whitelists, which can now be managed at workspace level and applied to smart contract interactions on top of transfers and withdrawals. Can you give us some more details around whitelists?
Yes. And this is back to the same theme you brought up. So the idea of giving users more sort of a finer grain language in which they can express their needs and requirements when it comes to governing what can and cannot be done with their digital assets or keys. And what whitelist does in the current implementation, as you'll see, is allows you to set essentially an address book of addresses you can interact with from your vault. So very similar to what you have today. We just revamped the user experience for it. But we've also introduced a new feature that allows you to also add the same functionality to your Web3 wallets. So now you can start doing whitelisting of which smart contracts are you allowed to trade with. So imagine you're doing an unleveraged fund, and that fund can obviously not obtain leverage, and therefore you might want to single out some contracts that you want that specific fund to work with. And there is a settings now within our workspace, which is something we're testing at the moment, which you can say, hey, I have defined so well the boundaries of what can and cannot be done on my workspace that I want only that to be used. So that means only something you have whitelisted can be actually used from within Credo. And this is important for particularly organizations that are a little bit more, they are predictable in what they do. Say you're doing treasury management, you're unlikely to venture out on very sophisticated smart contracts out there. So you might want to limit the boundaries of what can be done within your treasury management workspace. And that's an example where you can toggle this global setting that states, right, this is the list of addresses I will interact with. And I think this will be a helpful user experience piece, but also it can help for those use cases where locking down to what is strictly necessary is quite a strong requirement.
Awesome. Thanks, Gabe. Thank you so much, Gabe. As always, it was an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to our listeners. Be sure to keep in touch with Credo for all updates and news, as you will always hear it here first. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more on the roadmap to come, so keep your eyes peeled.